Yo soy Mr. Woodward, aquí in Montessori Academy, Brentwood, Tennessee. This is the first official music class. I want to get you started, loosened up. Let's do some rhythm practice. Repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to clap on those beats. Clap the rhythm that I clap. Are you ready? Come on, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pat, clap, pat, pat, clap. Pat, clap, pat, pat, clap. Patta, patta, clap, clap. Patta, patta, clap, clap. Patta, patta, clap. Patta, patta, clap. Patta, patta, clap. Patta, patta, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Pat, pat, pat. Clap, clap, clap. Pat, pat, pat. Clap. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap. Clap. Your turn. Ah, good try. Good try. All right, let's review our solfege ear training sight singing syllables. All right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Now, I want to see if you can hear where the mi is. Are you ready? Do, sing mi. Do you get it? Try again. Let's say this is do. Sing mi. Mi. I gave you the answer too soon. Okay, next one. If this is do, sing mi. Mi. Do you get it? Okay, next one. Oh, I'm going to jump down. Do. Sing mi. Okay, now let's take it a step further. Sing mi so. Do. You got that? Try again. Do. All right, couple more. Do. Last one. Do. All right, very nice. Now that we've fully prepared, let's open up the sight singing book, and I would like for you to look at this page that I'm going to pull up. It's a really awesome song called Who Took the Cookie from the Cookie Jar? So we're going to start on this line. As you notice, there are notes on lines and spaces, and sol and mi skip the fa in the middle. The fa is on that space, and we're in the key of C, so the sol is the G right there, and the mi is on the E. So I'm going to give you the starting pitch. So, and I'm going to just let you take a look at this. See if you can sing it without hearing any of the notes. So is your starting note. 1, 2, ready, go. Did you get it? I'm going to give you one more chance. Starting note, so. 2, ready, go. Ready, go. All right. Now I'm gonna sing it with you, and I want you to hear. Did you get it all the way right? Did you get some of it right, some of it wrong? Sing along with me, or just listen. 2, starting note. So, ready, go. So mi mi so mi mi so mi so mi. And again. So mi mi so mi mi so mi so mi. And the words to the song are, who took the cookie from the cookie jar? Who took the cookie from the cookie jar? I hope you're not stealing any cookies at home. Eat healthy! All right? Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to close this up. All right. Let's sing some songs together. Could I get a suggestion for a song that you want to sing? A little louder. I can't hear you. A little louder. Okay. Bear went over the mountain. Sing with me. Ah, bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. And all that he could see, and all that he could see was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain was all that he could see. I don't hear you. Was the other side of the other side of the other side of the was all that he could see. Now, let's do it with the motions. Are you ready? So for bear, get up out of your couch or wherever you're sitting. We're going to go, the bear went over the mountain. Mountain. Ready? The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. Got that? So, see, back and forth. See what he could see. All right? Let's do it from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. And all that he could see, and all that he could see was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain was all that he could see. I need a better motion for that. Give me an idea. What could it be a better motion for? All that he could see. Okay, you do that motion when we get to that part, okay? All right, here we go. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. And all that he could see, and all that he could see was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain was all that he could see. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh my. How did this get here? The wonderful script of Maria Montessori the musical, which we did not get to perform in Dallas, Texas like we thought we were going to. Oh. It was heartbreaking. But while we're here, let's just have a short selection from Maria Montessori the musical. And remember, you can listen online on Spotify or on YouTube. So we're going to start out, we're going to sing the intro song, Hi, I'm Maria, where Maria is introduced to the world as her brilliant, strong-willed, wonderful 5-year-old self. So here she is. Hi, I'm Maria. It's the 1870s, Italia. Once divided and subjectified, our nation now is unified. It's exciting to be living in Italia. Hi, I'm Maria. I live with Papa and Mamma Mia. Yes, I love my parents and obey, and sometimes they do as I say. I'm happy to be me and my familia. going to move on from there. And if you're interested, I'm going to read you a story. Let me just grab that book. Where did it go? Sometimes I just like to play whatever comes into my mind or comes into my heart. I just want to play, and it always makes me feel better. So I'm going to read you a story now from Lives of the Musicians. Good times, bad times, and what the neighbors thought. So I'm going to now read you a story about Antonio Vivaldi. Now, Antonio Vivaldi was Italian, and so I'm going to read this story in honor of Italy, which is being hit very hard with this virus. Antonio Vivaldi was a very famous composer, and in fact, he became famous because Bach loved him so much. And of course, Bach wasn't famous until 100 years after he was dead. But when they started reading about how much Bach loved Vivaldi, people started getting interested in Vivaldi. So he was not famous during his lifetime, or he wasn't that famous, but he's way more famous now than he ever was. So here we go. Sunny, warm Venice was a place you couldn't get away from music. Gondoliers serenaded up and down the canals, fruit vendors whistled, shoemakers and shoppers sang from morning to night. Festivals, theaters, parties, and religious services required a constant supply of new music. Antonio Vivaldi's father had big plans for him. He taught him the violin, got him a job as a violinist, and sent Vivaldi into the priesthood when the boy was 15 years old. Father and son played duets at church. By the time Antonio was 25 and took a job teaching violin at the Pietà Orphanage for Girls, he was earning 4 times as much as his father. And just so you know, he was born in Venice, Italy in 1678. So that's when this is taking place. He was to spend most of his life at the Pietà, that's the orphanage for girls. Next to the big iron gate of the orphanage was a little nook in the wall where every morning the porter checked for new arrivals. Orphaned or abandoned babies were given a home and taught music. The girls gave concerts that were a highlight of musical life in Venice. They sang like angels and played their instruments with great skill. It was said that the Pietà had the best disciplined orchestra in Italy at that time. Yet the girls were seldom seen. At concerts, they were hidden from the audience by an iron gate, possibly because some were deformed. Since they performed in a church, no applause was allowed, and people expressed enthusiasm by coughing, shuffling their feet, and blowing their noses loudly. And there's an artist's rendering of the little nook in the wall where people would leave babies that were unwanted, that they would take in. Vivaldi had to make sure everything ran smoothly. During intermissions, he would keep people entertained by playing his violin. He had thick, curly red hair, and sometimes he wore red robes. More people knew him by his nickname, the Red Priest, than by his real name. Vivaldi was sickly, but he worked hard. He taught violin, conducted the orchestra, performed at concerts, and bought musical instruments for the school. Outside the orphanage, he toured in support of his own playing and composing. Vivaldi wrote music for all occasions. He was one of the most prolific composers in the history of music. Vivaldi must have been full of energy and probably didn't have time to be temperamental. He didn't agonize over his work. He was deferential to those in authority, and he never seemed to get in trouble. Sometimes he was playful, putting little jokes in his music. He was terribly sensitive to criticism and was notoriously vain. He liked to boast about his fame, his rich patrons, and his ability to write music so quickly. Some people think he sometimes lied, saying he had written 94 operas, for example, when only 49 have ever been found. Vivaldi was a little bit obsessed with money. He always asked the highest possible price for his music, but he also spent his money. When he died at 63 from a mysterious inflammation, he died poor and his music out of fashion. Not until the music of Bach was rediscovered over 100 years later, and it was seen how much Bach respected the Red Priest, did interest in Vivaldi's music revive. And I'm going to play you just a little bit from Spring from the Four Seasons. It is now spring since March 19th, and you may have heard this before. Marjorie Kilpersons is a music educator, put some words to this song. It goes like this. Springtime's the best time of year, all the snow and ice disappear, songs of birds falling on my ear. Springtime's the best time of year, all the snow and ice disappear, songs of birds falling on my ear. This music is by Vivaldi, this music is by Vivaldi, Vivaldi brings music and good cheer. This music is by Vivaldi, Vivaldi brings music and good cheer. Vivaldi was also voted, Vivaldi's Four Seasons, one of his most famous pieces, was voted by radio listeners, public radio listeners in New York State to be one of the most boring piece of music ever written. But that's just a little history there. Those are the 1980s. We appreciate it more now. That concludes day one of quarantine music class. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you. I miss you.